Okay, Grinks. Okay, this is kind of on the eve of United States going into the bottom of the barrel. So this whole thing, what's going on with the U.S., there is a good side to it. Yeah, obviously people are awakening, sort of. Yeah, just for you can say the U.S. is grounding itself more. You can say, yeah, it's not good. It's gonna be rough, but maybe not what people might think. So it's hard to predict where this is gonna go. It's gonna be different for everybody. So that's gonna be kind of the mystery. Some people will be fine. Others will go through their whatever they need to go through. Yeah, the dark night of the soul is probably going to be a big one. So it's not going to be the pristine future some might think. Well, you have to go internally and clear yourself out. Some will go through that at least. So these next couple of days are a big deal for the U.S. Like, how's the mentality going to be? The mental health of the country. We'll see. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. Because it's still, this is kind of a downgrade. Maybe not the one people were thinking that was coming. So it doesn't mean the banks are going to implode or there's going to be an implosion there. It doesn't mean that's going to happen at all. Society might implode instead, meaning that like its identity, maybe not through riots. It might be some of that, of course. We'll have to wait and see where that goes. Probably, definitely New York. Yeah, who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, just you can say the U.S. is growing up. Maybe it's going through puberty right now, something like that. Yeah, the cats are at it again. It's hard to put them in the background. They probably won't be in camera anyway, and it'd be very distracting. It's kind of distracting now, but it'd be worse if they're in the background. So, not that I can tell them what to do anyway. So, but yeah, with the U.S., what's going on with it? Not that many have to really go that deep into it, but this is a change and probably a necessary one. You can see corruption that doesn't care anymore. The banana republic energy that's going on doesn't mean the U.S. is going to fall and crash down. No, but it's been pretty vicious with its power in the past, and it's doing it now more to itself than other countries. So yeah, because this country attacks other countries, but well, most people are going to be aware of it, and now you're seeing it happen at home. So yeah, like Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, that's to name a few. I was at Benghazi. There's probably a lot of other things out there. Probably have no clue of. Afghanistan, obviously Iraq, and the list goes on and on. And now it's happening here. We'll have to wait and see where things go. So we tap into the U.S. itself, like the consciousness of it, like Uncle Sam or something like that. Give it different perspectives. Yeah, it's not going to be the end of the world or anything like that. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be that easy to predict. Some might feel like we're going to a complete crash. We're just going through it's a maturity level where reality is hitting. For those that don't even call this reality. Yeah. And also ninth dimension, just tap into those energies. Might be the Arcturians, we'll see. Or the ninth dimension, somebody. Or just nobody. Just whatever entity that wants to come in to give some kind of bizarre insight. World War III is happening in the corner over there. And Betty and Barney Hill. They had their experiences with the Zetas. If I remember, I think they went through like a hypnosis after the abduction, and then they talked about the Zetas, talking about the Zeta Reticuli, and talking about the alignment of stars. It was accurate, something around those lines. So yeah, so they got abducted by Zetas, and yeah, as a disclosure, and it's pretty fascinating. There's some, I forgot where it was. It doesn't really matter, but I'm just tapping into their energies, whatever they have to say. Usually they're not around. I don't feel them around like ever. So this is a big deal. And yeah, the Zetas feel like they are our brothers, our sisters, just from a different reality, obviously. And obviously they don't have all the answers, but they don't have to worry about paying bills. They just look like creatures. They don't carry around a wallet either. Some might, just for the sake of doing it, but they don't need it. But yeah, they have like their own built-in radio antennas, and it looks like they've been out in the sun too long. Yeah, all shriveled up from radioactive activities. So yeah, a future we might want to try to avoid. If this world had what all this the Cold War, yeah, we would have probably turned into something like that. Our version of it. I think the zombie apocalypse is a pain in the ass. End up frying the planet. Seriously, that's the vibe. I mean, yeah, it could have easily happened for sure. It's like we have enough Zeta planets already. We don't need another one. So we have enough Zeta of Earth. We don't need to light everybody up and turn everybody inside out. So something like that. I don't know if that's funny or not, but it kind of is. So the Zeta apocalypse. Okay. All right. So I have a total economy prep sessions. I have a schedule. I have a shop here. We have the webinar, social network, behind the scenes, and the archive. I haven't done much of the archive recently. I'm kind of taking a break from it, but majority is up there. It's obviously started doing some fixing here and there on there, but overall it's there. So, yeah, the U.S. energy tapping into that. I have to literally tap into it. Obviously, men are scared of the future. It's like living in a roller coaster. Yeah. So, is the U.S. getting a downgrade? It's kind of, but it's not the future people might want to. They can predict. It doesn't feel like a future people can predict. Maybe there's some people that can, but I don't want to see it. Doesn't mean, like I said, it's not going to be the end all. Or we're going to turn to a third world country and start shooting each other. I don't think that's going to happen. But no, that's glad that's not happening. Yeah, it's just, yeah. Of course, the riots in New York are probably weaponized. Obviously, manipulation, of course. Well, it's also releasing tension, of course. So it's like our version of a civil war to some level. It's like a version of it, but it's happening in New York. It's not happening anywhere else. It depends on the outcome. Whereas Tuesday is going to be a very unusual day. Yeah, Tuesday is very strange. It's going to happen at like 2:15 or something like that. Monday there might be some kind of, I don't know, some kind of scandals here and there, or some kind of, obviously, to the build up to Tuesday. But Tuesday really is, Black Tuesday or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, it's funny how they do things during the week. Sometimes they do it on a Friday, but then again, that was a warm up to Friday. So it's just funny how we're jumping around to stuff. Go from the banking to Trump being thrown in jail. It's just what's next. So when that gets burned out, What would be the next one? What's next on the script? So, and welcome to March, or now it's April, but March just kicked everything off, didn't it? So, all right, yeah, banking turmoil thing. Oh yeah, that's another thing I was going. J.P. Morgan. I think it's J.P. Morgan. Yeah, Google founder was brought in about the whole Epstein situation, which you probably haven't heard about. They're investigating one of the Google founders about Epstein. I think it's J.P. Morgan is involved somewhere, but they're not making this stuff public. But they're bringing people in for questioning. Let's put it that way. And we'll probably never hear about it. So who knows? Yeah, you're not going to hear about that. You have to kind of find it. So it has been train derailments. Of course, it's not radioactive enough to get the news. Of course, they're covering stuff up too. But yeah, Ohio, they probably should just be moved out of there. But oh well. Kind of settle down a little bit. Okay, all right. Here we go. Blessings. Go to the United States. Not to mention somebody's, whoever they are, and Barney and Betty. Oh, all right, blessings. Here we go. Greetings. We are conscious of the USA. Yes, of course, there's a divide, a turmoil. Not necessarily blaming the Democrats. There's just a deep state energy that's hiding behind the Democrats. That's kind of like a wicked side of the U.S. It's not the Democrats in general. It's just the deep state has a identity crisis. It needs to go somewhere. It's like cockroaches. It's like termites. They need to find a place to call home and just start devouring everything around them. It is a cockroach energy, though. It truly is. It's going after the decay of society. It's truly feeding off society. It's eating through society. So it's kind of like a termite frequency too. And it's up to humanity. Humanity doesn't always want to know. Some do. Some freak out they have some idea of how this is all being done, and it freaks them out. Some of you can handle it. So it's basically bringing the truth into your reality. So there's nothing to hide anymore. And society is not aware of it physically, but on a conscious level, it's like, do we really want to go through this? So you're getting a bit of it now. There's a lot more. Yes, it goes into human trafficking. And you probably have heard this type of message before, but where darkness truly shows itself. Yeah, something like out of a Lord of the Rings movie when you see creature beings wandering around. You have very light, fluffy, elegant beings, and then you see darkness. You see it already, but then people look away and they don't really want to see it. But it's not that your world's ready to see what's truly hidden here. Some are, once again. Doesn't mean they have. I mean, they know it's here, but they don't have to see it. And I mean, if it happens, it shows up on someone's doorstep, or they're not surprised. But society itself kind of walks away from it. Doesn't want to know. Yeah, so many are going through conspiracy theories of different, secret space programs or whatever it might be. But there's just a bigger. Yes, those are in other realities. What's happening here is a little bit more what people want to handle. Yeah, they might hear about it, but still, it's a lot heavier than what people imagine. It's a darkness here that it's like, there's a dark dragon energy there too. It's like a sleeping beast, and it's taking advantage of humanity's energy, ignorance. And so you're slowly releasing this mystery energy so you connect more to yourselves. So the US is basically, it's not, throughout Europe's history, It's gone through a lot of darkness. It's seen a great deal. The U.S. has also seen their version of it. But a lot of it's being hidden currently. And eventually there'll be times where this all needs to start coming out. It's in increments, of course. Well, many need to live their daily lives. They don't have time for this. The world starts to get. But eventually the world will have to crack itself open. And people will have to take a day off to see. 2020 was kind of like that, not really. Well, to end the darkness here, you kind of have to see it. 9/11 wasn't, yeah, a version of it, but not the full story of it. Oh, that was covered up also afterwards. The idea is for your world to kind of pause, crack it open, and see what this is all, what's truly here. And then eventually your aliens will show up. It's like, is your world mature enough to see what's happening here? And not really. Well, due to life was been designed for life survival. So if you didn't have that, it'd be easy to release the darkness here. So it's a distraction, it's soul growth within certain, through survival. It doesn't always have to be seen as that, but basically having a job and all these things that's connected to it. It all has a purpose. It might not always show its purpose. Does it have to? No. It's up to you how you define it. Yeah, it's different for everybody. But the U.S. itself is going through a puberty kind of as teenage. It's kind of going back and forth. It wants to get older, but then it gets younger. I mean, the consciousness of the U.S. itself is still. It doesn't really always want to kind of get over itself or to go over its problems. It's obviously it has a lot of issues. It's causing a lot of issues worldwide because it's still a youngster. It's still growing. Of course, many of you are ancient beings here, but a lot of you ancient beings are not the ones causing all of this. You're just helping others get through it. I mean, you're just sitting on the sidelines. This is very frustrating. Because probably many of you feel like you're involved more in society. You can do something about it. But in this life, it's like stand down, stand at the sidelines, as difficult as that is. And some might be able to interact, but it's not always necessary. It's like most of you that are ancient beings have been through all of this. And right now, you're just, like I say, helping others through it. Grease you. We are the ninth dimension. Who we are doesn't matter. No. When you hear different names, and that sounds nice. Now you know who it is, but does it mean anything? Not really. They're not here appearing on your planets. They're not going on talk shows and having a nice haircut. Which a lot of alien beings find that absolutely hilarious. They couldn't do that. Most of them can't comb their hair if they tried. Of course, most of them don't have hair, but either way, they're just basically energy beings. So your planet is connecting more to its higher self, or it's not always what it's cracked up to be. Yes, coming to a world like this, it's like, can you get through all of these problems and give your sanity? Like most will say no. But all of this has been brought here for a reason. Is like a game, yes, a chess game, but it's not just there to cause you headaches. There's hidden meanings and everything. It has to happen somewhere. Is there a decay of society or the world itself? I mean, the world's even tired of it itself, but it when it sees what it's doing, like Mother Earth and the dimensional beings, they see what they're getting out of this. It's kind of like opening a soul up. It's really breaking it out of its comfort zone. There's more to it than that. But it's really watching a soul really show what it has. But not everybody's here to You'll have a huge adventurous life. Just living a very simple life is sometimes the hardest because some of you are ready to make history, conquer a country, and do all this, and what you probably have done somewhere, and now you're here living everyday life. It's like most exciting thing I have done is go to the grocery store. Maybe travel an hour away every now and then, or go to work. Maybe that's adventurous, and that's about it. And nothing is more challenging than simplicity. As of that, yes, mundaneness is there for a reason too. Some of it's just to keep you out of trouble, whatever it might be. It's not there to be overly parenting and keep you safe. No, it's just that's where you need to be currently. Some of you, yes, ready for some adventures, yes, go out swashbuckling, whatever it might be. If that's the case, you experienced it before in this lifetime. Yes, you're sitting it out. For letting others have the fun, which is not fun at all. Some of you want to be out there in the political or whatever, out in the not just for celebrity, but just you can get your word out there. You can make a fool out of yourself, whatever it is. As messed up as that is, someone just I can't get enough of that. It's publicity hogs. Yes, yes, that's why some are like, yes, just go to the grocery store and live your life and leave your spotlight. Try to get some attention somewhere else. Yeah, you've had your time. In history, yeah, some of you have had, everything you did, it was celebrity, celebrity. Not that you're looking, but you can really feel like you're making a difference. And in this life, yes, many are sitting it out. And it's hard, but it's the hardest one is not doing a whole lot when you feel like you can make an influence. Yes, we feel your pain, but others need to make their own mistakes. It's like probably many of you have made those mistakes, but watching others stumble, it's like, wow, that's a nice cult you have there. But many don't see it that way. Religion itself, yes, that still has an identity crisis. It's still, yes, the individuals are really not ready to make their own decisions or connect more to their own faith. Multidimensional realms, wherever it might be. Some of you have been this in history, and some of you are worshiping yourselves and are knowing it. That's a little bit cryptic. There's some of that going on. There's a lot happening here. Yes, doesn't mean you have to foot, but on an energy level, this world has every purpose known to man. Yes, not and being human is not the most difficult. There's others that are difficult too, but other beings seem to find their way out of all this, and you're human here just can't seem to do that. It gets stuck. Now, some of you are unstuck, but you can't give everybody the answers, which is very hard. It's like you want to say something to help others out of their trouble, but you can't. It's not your place. They have to come to you or figure it out on themselves or whatever. We'll just leave you at that. Blessings. Grease you. We had consciousness of Barney and Betty Hill. You can say during the time it was very kind of a scary time to talk about the Zetas, the Greys. Of course, we were around people that would understand it. Actually, quite intrigued, but there was kind of like a shadow government kind of didn't know what to do to keep it quiet. Yes, the story's been put out, but much of disbelief currently, as some of you probably, is a cover up. I mean, there was more that happened during that interaction. Now, for us to go into it is not really necessary, but it's another form of your disclosure. And just yes, there's been a blackout for alien connections at that form. For very agreements, you can say. Some are having downloads and connections, but not an actual abduction where you're truly taken to another point. you know, the Betty and Barney Hill situation was, you know, it was what, you can't really replicate it. Of course, you have other connections with the Palladians and the Syrians and wherever it might be, but it's really kind of give you, those that really need this hook to realize this is real. Obviously, others are going to feel like it's fake because they're not ready for it. They still want this human experience, but the alien downloads will continue on. As you can see, it's finding its way through many of you to just basically show there's a multi-dimensional Earth out there. And obviously, it's not for everybody, but some of you have to be you. Yes, you have to be yourself. If it's a multi-dimensional self, if it's through spirit, if it's through aliens, through Garthian beings, whatever it might be, more of that will strengthen into society, and yes, cause such a divide. Because humans will feel like they're living in a science fiction movie. You already feel it now. It's going to increase in the future. It's going to get, yes, it will be manipulated like anything else. But it's going to be toxic forms of, but also liberating for some of you. It's like, this is what you came here to do, to really just shift the consciousness so humans know more about themselves. Yes, it might sound crazy, but it's another part of our evolution. There's going to be more confusion, most likely, but at least the cat is out of the bag, as I say, because right now it's being hidden. Well, you see all these religions, a lot of those are crazy. Why can't the alien energies be taken more? And that's what help heal a lot of the cults. Of course, your religion is a cult frequency itself, and that's been accepted. And yes, many will take advantage of it as more of the alien knowledge was basically the idea for the alien knowledge to come in. Really, this multi-dimensional knowledge is, for you to have, as you are advancing, which you are, it might not seem that way, but you are here to bring some of this multi-dimensional knowledge here to, like I said, it's going to be confusing, but eventually humans will grow out of that. Yes, it might be a long time for them, but at least it's part of your society. And some of you feel like this is why you came here, which is huge. You wonder why you incarnated here. You have question mark, and all of a sudden this alien knowledge is taken more seriously, just enough where you feel like I'm satisfied. Now I can leave. So that gives some of you a little bit of a view of what you're connected to here. Yeah, you're here to shake the world up. Yes, add more crazy, but it's also educational for a soul to go more deeper into themselves, and not just to be just some small group. The idea is for society to decide who they are. It's just to look at things more differently. Yes, heal the depression. Where's the depression coming from? A lot of it's coming from another lifetime, and society has not fully accepted that. The more it's accepted in society, the more it can heal and go forward. Instead of thinking it's crazy all the time.